Hey everyone, happy Friday. Friday is a great day to talk with a friend of mine, a member of the Hub, and a licensed real estate agent who is always there ready to take your phone calls and learn about Fresno. Let's welcome Michael Hernandez to the show. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man.
Hey,
Beautiful
man.
day.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. I got a lot of great feedback just based off our conversation last week about what's going on in the market and all of that. And uh, I like how we talked, and we're going to talk about areas of Fresno today because Fresno is almost 1 million people when you talk about the county. And we're
Right.
going to talk about different investment areas. And what I think investors watching this are going to see is they're going to find an area that suits them. You're going to find different price points. You're going to find different rental values. You're going to find different percentage of renters versus owners. And you know what? You and I are going to have a great conversation. And do you want to highlight kind of the areas that we're going to look at today before we jump in?
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of pulled 5 different areas that we kind of discussed and touched on, but the city kind of has its own little district names per se.
Mhm.
So we're going to hit on the Lowell district, the Mayfair district, the Tower district, Fig Garden Loop, and then in Clovis, right, the Clovis East area.
Mhm.
So right in front of the Clovis East School.
Very, very cool. All right, well, let's bring this up, and then we will start talking about each area. I like this idea. This should be good. All right, so let's expand this. You can see it, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, so first up, we're going to start out in the Lowell, which for me, when I think of Lowell, I think of 93701, right, for people online searching. And why don't you talk about it from your perspective, somebody who lives in Fresno, talk about the evolution of the Lowell, and then I'll give my history and experience.
Yeah, so the Lowell is kind of that older area. A lot of homes that were built probably in the 20s, 30s. So this was essentially your North Fresno at some point in time when the downtown was maybe still, horse and trailer, man, kind of just evolving.
Yeah.
And so you have a lot of different homes. You don't have cookie cutters. You don't have, a lot of like the track style homes that we see in today in the modern builds.
For sure.
So everything is unique. You do see a lot of raised foundations. But for the most part, whenever I've dealt with the house out there, they're built well. So
Yeah.
different type of materials that were used, built very well,
Mhm.
sturdy homes, older neighborhood nowadays. It transitioned into more of a rental area for the city.
For sure.
And now it stays on essentially one of the south west corridors of Fresno, right before you're getting into the downtown Mural District. And
Yeah.
then it's right between Mural District and just north of it is the Tower District.
Yeah, I love the Lowell district today, right? In 2019, 2020, and going forward, the Lowell district is somewhere where I have significant assets. But in full disclosure, 20 years ago when I started, Lowell was one of those areas like, nope, not going there. That's a little too dicey for me. Um, that, but the high-speed rail, all those hundreds of millions of dollars that have come into downtown Fresno has
Right.
really expanded out to the Lowell area. And the Lowell is night and day different from today, from a decade ago. It's a wonderful
Right.
rental area. It is a wonderful area for different types of homes. People that hear me talk, this is where I own a 560 square foot house, right? Because they built those way back in the day. It's also a place where you can find interesting multifamilies because, again, they didn't have the same building standards back in the day.
Mhm.
Uh, just for example, this San Pablo property at 174, this is probably a 3 bedroom. Is that, I'm just guessing, given the
Yeah.
price
So
point?
this is 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom,
Yeah.
1,050 square feet lot. Again, same thing you touched on, 4884. So a lot of the lot sizes are different. A lot of the
Yeah.
home sizes are different. Built in 1916,
Mhm.
and it looks like it's either been renovated or it's been very well preserved.
Yeah.
Listed at 174.9. So
Yeah, I think it's a great price. Again, the Lowell district, just to give everybody an example, again, I buy stuff there today. I would say over the last couple of years, I've bought 20% of my properties were kind of in this area. So it's
right.
definitely an area I look at almost every day. But just to give you a feel for the history, right? This property back in 2003 and 4, when I started, was probably sub 60 grand.
Oh, easy,
Yeah,
easy.
back then. So it has seen a bunch. And even if you go back to like 2014, before this recent run up, this house might have been 90 grand, right? So it has seen some significant appreciation, because when you drive through the neighborhoods now, it's like certainly 50%, if not approaching 60% of the homes have been updated with dual pane windows, new wiring, new roofs. It is getting the investor love and attention. This
Yeah.
3.2 would probably rent for $1,200. It looks like it has street parking. It doesn't look like it had covered parking unless it's in the back, which it might. But yeah, it's going to be $1,200, I think, all day long.
Yeah. Yeah. And I picked these properties just so the viewers know there's no criteria, no specifications.
Yeah.
Like I just picked, for me, pretty much anything that hit market in the last 3 days. So the newest properties, that's what we're going to look at. I'm not picking anything, but it does give us a good, it'll give us a good evaluation kind of what Fresno's doing, because some of it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think the
data here.
Yeah, I think the Lowell district is an area, generally speaking, it's going to be the lowest price point that we look at today. Generally speaking, it is going to have the most eclectic combination of houses, because they're all different types and sizes. This is an area you can truly go to and buy a rundown house and feel like you're changing the neighborhood. So if that kind of stuff excites you, you need to reach out to Michael and have him help search for you and send you listings. He's already said on the last interview we did, he gets up early and he's happy to work with investors. So if that's the kind of market you want to look at, 93701 is what you look at, and reach out to Michael.
Yeah, and I definitely wanted to hit on that last point, the price per square foot on pricing as well, in each of the areas. So again, you did hit it right on the head, man. $100 a square foot on average on the report today, past 6 months. And again, this is a perfect example. This property is listed at $168 a foot. So anybody that's interested in making almost a $70 per square foot jump, Lowell gives you that opportunity. You can buy the junker and fix it up, man.
There you go. All right. And then we go off to the Mayfair. I love this. I don't know if you remember, but my first property ever was 1818 Norris Drive East in the Mayfair.
There you go. Right around the corner. It kind of loops, and you get lost if you don't know where you're going in there, man.
Yeah. Norris Drive changes from east to west. It's like, wait, what happened? Where'd it go? Yeah. That's pretty funny. Go ahead and talk about Mayfair.
So Mayfair again, kind of centralized. I would say it's pretty centralized. You're close to McLean High School out there. And then there's numerous elementary schools out there. I grew up kind of by the Fashion Fair area. Oh yeah. And so I remember a lot of the kids would come in from, the Mayfair area, and I was like, where the hell's Mayfair? And lo and behold, it's just south, kind of central south Fresno. A lot of homeowners nowadays, a lot of first-time home buyers bought exclusively in this neighborhood. Yeah. Prices were very fair when I was first coming into the business. Flips were, less than 100,000 in there, all done. So it was just a perfect neighborhood. Now appreciation has happened. It's transitioned a lot. Again, different houses. Not every house is always going to be the same in that Mayfair area. But this one in particular just hit the market. It's 2146 North Norris, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And then again, comparing to what we just seen, this is 1,033 square feet. Okay. So it's pretty much at par. And just look at how far of a drive away from Lowell this is. Yeah. So totally different area, totally different neighborhood, pretty similar pricing at 189.5. Yep.
Yeah, what you'll see in the Mayfair, from my perspective, is a little more tract homes. Correct. Right? They weren't each individually created like the Lowell district back in the day. Here, it looks like you had some small builders come in and take on 20 lots, 30 lots, because they're all, generally speaking, around the same era. I think like the 50s and 60s. Right. There are, as you see in this example, plenty of one-car garages, which gives you a feel for what era when they were built. It wasn't the 80s where 2 cars was pretty common. I don't remember any 2 stories. I'm sure there are some, but generally speaking, all 1 story in the Mayfair. Yeah, at least where I was buying. Yeah. But again, this is where the Lowell is probably 70-30 renters versus owners today. Here, it's probably 50-50. Pretty close, I would think. Yeah.
And strong rental rates out there, man.
Oh, very strong. Yeah. This 2-bedroom, 1-bath, probably 1,100. Right. And that's a 2. So where we were looking at a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the Lowell at 1,200. So you can see, different areas demand different rents. Obviously here you have garage parking versus street parking and, all those things. So pretty interesting. Mayfair is definitely, the Lowell and Mayfair are different, right? And they will fit different. My first property was in the Mayfair because it was closest to what I lived in Sunnyvale, California. It's 1 story. I had a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house, and I didn't know any different. So that's what I bought. So pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, and then last touch, pricing again, Mayfair, based on everything last 6 months, report 159 a square foot. Norris Drive just hit the market at 183 a foot. So, everything in between, man.
Pretty crazy. Very cool. All right. The tower.
Here we go.
Is this one that was done by the EVC Homes team? Do you know?
It is a partner of ours in the hub. So
I love what they do. The EVC Homes, if you guys don't know, is probably the #1 flipper in Fresno. They only do the nicest stuff. So to get a home that they have built or had their love and attention on is a special, special thing. I love what the EVC Homes teams does. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was just going to second that. A buyer for that property that EVC does, they absolutely get a dollar for dollar return, man. You're not just getting a marked up property.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love what they do. The combinations, the color schemes, the finishes.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, and this is a perfect example. Again, I didn't go through and pick out something that was, just because we know them or whatever.
Yeah.
Just hit the market, 1301 North Del Mar. This is a perfect example for investors of what, you could appreciate in that neighborhood. So there was one down the street that just went pending last week. And I think we talked about it a little bit, but had probably like 20 offers.
Yeah,
it was listed at 130,000.
I remember.
And it was super similar to the dimensions on this one. And so this one here is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,315 square feet on a 4,100 square foot lot built in 28, completely redone at 209 a foot. Tower, it varies as well, and that. But their closing sales average price per square foot is 153. So again, this is what it looks like finished.
Yeah.
And Tower's evolved a lot. Tower has a lot of community events. I remember doing like the Cinco de Mayo events down there when I was in college.
Yeah.
Just attending different parades. Tower has always just been kind of like that, that hub of entertainment for kind of that younger generation.
Yeah, the tower, the tower, in my opinion, is one of those. It's kind of got the best of everything. It's got the uniqueness of homes like the Lowell district, but it was always clearly the upscale area, right? So they don't have the little homes like the Lowell districts.
Right.
Right. When in doubt, the tower homes are monstrous, right? And we're talking 2,000 square feet is not abnormal. And in the tower district, you can find some $500,000 homes easily. Because they're the old 4,000 square foot mansions and the like. When in doubt, gun to head, if I only could invest in one market, it would be the tower. I like houses that are different. I like how you can add your special touches. I like how strong the demand is. I like the walkability. Again, unlike the Lowell, the tower district in general has big lots, right? They're not the 4,000, the 3,800 square foot lots. They're all quarter acres or bigger. So I think the tower, if you're looking for that mix of cash flow and appreciation, the tower is probably the best area. We'll see a couple of areas coming up that may have more appreciation, but you won't have that market that offers some cash flow and appreciation like you'll see in the tower. It's a special place in Fresno. And when I go out and talk about Fresno, which I've just done the last 3 days, I tell everybody to start searching in the tower. So I expect the tower to get even more demand because I just told 100 people in San Jose, San Francisco, and Berkeley to go look at the tower. So we'll see what happens.
They have awesome food, great drinks, great properties. It's definitely different, man. You can walk down the street and get, your groceries. You can get what you need, man. So it's pretty cool.
And you could come to the hub. We're on Van Ness. Oh, very, very cool. The Fig Garden. Oh, look at this beauty.
Fig Garden Loop. Again, so this is probably one of the up and coming areas in that Fresno I've seen prices appreciate. I know the area fairly well. I bought a property there for my family in 2014.
Oh, good for you.
That my parents still own till today, and I've seen prices just go through the roof, man.
Yeah.
I think I bought that property at 176. It's probably I I wouldn't put it on the market, or I wouldn't let it go with anything less than a 3 in front of it, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's awesome.
And this is pretty reflective. So, there's a lot of investors that just like to park money safe, play it
Yes.
safe, and you're going to get better than a quarter point at your savings for
Yeah.
your savings account.
Yeah.
So this is a good example. Again, out of no particular order. This one's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,351 square feet at 290.
Yeah.
6,300 square foot lot built in 96. It's trading at 214 a foot.
Yep.
And it's very reflective of kind of what prices are doing there, man.
Yeah. What I see in the fig garden is exactly what you said. If you're that kind of investor that when you look at the monopoly board and you want to only be on that right side, not necessarily Park Place or Boardwalk, but you want to be up by like Marvin Gardens and whatever that other stuff is. This is it. So you're going to have to come in and put 40% down, because I don't want you to do anything that won't cash flow. But if you just want to park some money, get the, appreciation, you come in with 40 points in the fig garden, get your 30-year fixed mortgage. You're going to look like a genius in a decade when interest rates are higher, appreciation is there. And again, it's very, very much in demand. I mean, it's far more tract homes, right? The first 3 areas we talked about were kind of small builds or individual builds. Fig garden is an area where people came in and bought hundreds of acres and put up tracts. And here's an example of a stucco home. I'm guessing this is a 2000 or 90 build. Does it say?
This was 96.
Yeah, so 90s build.
Yeah.
3-car garage, very common. You won't see anything with a 1-car garage, at least to my memory. It'll be 2 or 3 cars. You will see some developments have 2 stories in the fig garden, because again, they went up to get more square footage. Again, fig garden, wonderful place to be. It is definitely an appreciation in kind of safety play. But if you do it, don't expect monster cash flow. You're going to have to be conservative and put 40% down. But there are plenty of investors who are like, you know what? I want to park some money. I don't want to be in the market. I don't want to have a savings account. And if that's you, you need to call Michael and ask about the fig garden.
Yeah. This one probably would go 1,400, 1,600 on the top end for rent.
Yeah.
But again, it's centralized. They're building that whole new out by the new movie theater, new restaurants and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all coming.
Target's right there. So yeah, close to the 99. Pretty good area, man.
Very, very cool. All right. And that just means Clovis is next. Look at that beauty.
There. Look what happened to that price point, man.
Woo, baby.
So again, Clovis is kind of, broken up semi by school district. So that's pretty popular things out in Clovis, man, is, all the schools are great out there. And even so, families still fight to be in the best schools. So, but for today, I picked Clovis East. I didn't go out.
Michael, real quick, what is the best school in Clovis? Is it Clovis East?
I have no idea, man. I would guess Clovis North is probably a little bit more popular right now.
Okay. All right.
Bugman, Clovis North area.
Okay.
And so that's going to be a lot more north, kind of by Friant.
Okay. Yeah. Out there. Yeah.
Yeah. But, perfect example, 3465 Lansing just hit the market, 2 days on market, 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 3,024 square foot property, 4,500 square foot lot, built in 2016. And the crazy thing, trading at 148 a foot, man.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of one of those things, man. I mean, you're paying for a lot more square footage. You're definitely buying the area, you're buying the community. And so this is probably perfect example of what Clovis can offer.
Yeah.
But same thing. I mean, you park your money out there and you're probably talking, maybe upwards of 2,000 in rent, man. And
yeah, it's going to be tough to cash flow, right? Clovis, what I tell Bay Area folks is Clovis is the Cupertino of Fresno, right? Cupertino is a Bay Area district that has the best schools where people fight. People actually sell homes and move into apartments so they can be in that school district.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. But that is Clovis. But it is going to be tough to cash flow. right? If you're a cash
Yeah.
flow investor, you're not buying anything in Clovis. In my 20 years, I've owned one asset in Clovis. It was a 10-unit building bought 16 years ago. Actually don't own it anymore because somebody wanted to overpay for it and I let it go.
Yeah.
But again, right, if your mindset is, I'm willing to put a lot down, I want to own the assets, this would be an example of Park Place or Boardwalk for Fresno. Right?
Absolutely.
Almost $500,000. The rent to price ratio is not great, but it is very safe. It is in high demand. This stuff's all new builds, big tracks. You know, it's not for me. I mean, if anybody's followed me forever, I'm a cash flow investor. So I look at Clovis and occasionally try to pick up a junker, but often get outbid because I'm so cheap. But again, some people are like, nope, I've got a big 6-figure job. I want to get 4 of these and I'm okay with, break even. I'm okay with 50% down. If that's the case, there's nothing wrong with calling up Michael and talking about Clovis.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, this price point is kind of reflective right in the middle. When I pulled my sheets this morning, there's 3 properties that essentially hit the market in the last 48 hours. One's at 659, 900. There's this one. And then there was another one at 399. So
yeah,
I kind of picked that middle one.
Sure.
But there is property in the 3s and they go well into the 4, 5s and 6s, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, you really want to get nuts, you can get stuff, 8, 9s. It's but this is a cash flow channel. We're not talking about those.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to get a hold of Michael, here's his details. He's a member of the Hub, which means I trust him. He actually writes up offers for me all the time. His phone number is 559-994-3291. Again, 559-994-3291. Michael, sellmyhome@gmail.com. Michael, any closing thoughts? You just pulled a bunch of listings this morning. What's it look like? Inventory still down? Prices still up?
Inventory still down, prices still up, going up. We talked about one, that we made an offer on as well. Crazy, man, over ask.
Yeah.
We talked about another one that went way over ask. So, I mean, just the buyers are out there, man, and buyers are getting more aggressive. Interest rates are still great.
Yeah.
As we're moving closer to the elections, we might see a little bit of a change.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, it's springtime, tax money's coming in. Things are rolling, man.
Yeah.
So
again, if you have interest in Michael, let's see if I remember. We went through the Lowell district, Mayfair, Tower, Fig Garden, and Clovis East. You want to talk about one of those markets? You need to call Michael at 559-994-3291. And Michael, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for putting this all together. I know it's extra work for you, but hopefully we make your phone ring and you can start helping some other investors.
Awesome, man.
All right. Enjoy your weekend, man.
All right. You do the same.
Thanks.